Hi, I'm going to talk about the SDG number 16, that is peace, justice, and strong institutions, and the connection with my research question, that is how does the power of Hitler change during the World War II? Well, this SDG, first of all, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Well, taking that into consideration, this SDG wasn't respected at all during the time that Hitler was the one in charge of Germany. Since during his time lapse of power that was in charge, it wasn't like peaceful the things that he was performing during the World War II. One example of this could be the war or also the Holocaust. This crime against the humanity isn't peaceful nor either justice, and this was only for the reason of racism, because he doesn't include these minority groups and try to persecute them and make this mass murder only because of racism, basically. Then a important actor of this SDG nowadays is the NGO called International Legal Foundation. This NGO it's making nowadays the strengthening Afghanistan's legal aid, that in summary is to strengthen the rule of law and ensure equal access to justice for all. And to the Ministry of Justice in the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, the MOG, will collaborate with the International Legal Foundation, that is this NGO, to develop a comprehensive legal system of aids for this country. This NGO is so important for this SDG because, as we know, Afghanistan is a country that is in too much problems, mainly in war problems still. So this NGO helps Afghanistan with more legal aid in taking like focus on the justice and providing or being an intermediate in during this conflict. Now that I am already more informed about this topic, I feel like a little bit more relieved of the things that happen now, because in order that this happen, we're taking actions to avoid all these events that was horrible. For example, the creation of the UN or the creation of the SDGs to afford our future and our world mainly. History helps me in a way that I wasn't like really familiar with this SDG, the SDG number 16, but when I was studying about the Second World War and mainly the change about Hitler during this war, and when I do the connection of the SDG and this conflict, I learned more about this SDG and how does impact nowadays to the real world. For example, as the NGO that helps nowadays with the problem in Afghanistan. And and I can become like more interested in learning a SDG that affects me directly, I think. Because, for example, this SDG that talks about peace and justice doesn't really affect me directly because there isn't my case. But for example, a SDG that talks about the climate change, that affects me directly because it's the world what we are talking about, and I'm living in this world, so I want to help this world to survive, and also to I'm really excited to get involved like in those topics about the climate change and all that stuff because that are problematics that affects me directly, as I already said. And how can this like make me take actions? Mainly the reason that it's like I'm motivated to help the world, and also how can I like take actions? There hasn't to be like too big. For example, I don't know, when I'm taking a shower, don't waste water, or yeah, something like that. In general, don't waste water, or to don't use too much of the car, or little actions that make the change, because these little actions become even bigger, and you can infect, like, in a way to say it, infect other people to make the things that you are doing to help the world. For example, taking in consideration the SDG that talks about climate change.